Hey guys, today I have my grandmother in the kitchen with me and we're going to be showing you guys her recipe for karhi. So basically what this dish is it's pholourie that's soaked in a dal gravy, and if you guys are looking for the perfect vegetarian recipe, then this one is for you guys. So make sure you check it out and give it a try. So for the actual pholourie mixture, for the pholourie that's going to go in the karhi, we're going to need some ground dal, and this was dal that was soaked overnight and then I ground it in my food processor with a little bit of garlic and hot pepper, and you want to add a little bit of water just to help it along. I also have some flour here, some salt to taste, as well as some turmeric, and we will be adding a little bit of baking powder later. We just forgot to put it down here. And for the gravy mixture, we have some of that same ground dal mixture set aside, some garlic and pepper that was ground up, as well as some masala, some curry powder, and some tamarind. Now, if this was a little too fast or you missed something, all of the ingredients and measurements will be down in the description box below, so make sure to check that out. First step when making karhi is to work on the pholourie mixture. So into our ground dal, my grandmother is adding in the all-purpose flour, the turmeric or the dye, as well as the salt to taste. And from this point, all you're going to do is go ahead and stir up this mixture until it comes together and you no longer see the dry flour. Now, I wanted to mention that when you're grinding up your dal in the food processor, do not add a lot of water, because the more water you add, the more flour you'll have to add to this mixture to get it to the right texture. And with the more flour that you add, the more dense your pholourie is going to come out, and it's going to be a little too tough and hard. So you want to be careful of the water that you add in. I will leave my measurement down below for how much I put into my pholourie mix, so this way you guys could gauge it for yourselves. So into this mixture, we're also going in with a little bit of baking powder right now. As I had said in the beginning of the video, we did forget to put it out, so it almost didn't get put in, but here it goes. So my grandmother decided to switch to her hand because after all, those are the best tools to use in the kitchen. And as you guys can see, all of that flour is now incorporated properly into the dal, and it is the perfect texture. It's not too hard, nor is it too soft. So we're going to go with this and we're going to start frying our pholourie. Once you finish mixing your pholourie mixture, it's time to go ahead and fry them. So in our pot here, we added in some vegetable oil and we heated it up on a medium-high heat until it was nice and hot. And my grandmother is now dropping in all of the pholourie bits. Now you want to take a little small amount in your hand, roll it around, and then go ahead and put it into the hot oil. Now you guys are going to see a little pop-up on the top of the screen. My grandmother's going to give you a little tutorial on how she rolls it in her hand and then drops it into the oil. Once you put a batch of pholourie into the hot oil, you're going to let it cook for about 1 to 2 minutes or until it's nice and golden brown on the outside, as you guys can see here. You also want to make sure to keep stirring constantly so they don't get too dark on one side. Phoulouries are frying for about 1.5 minutes, and as you guys can see, they've achieved a beautiful golden brown color. So we're taking them out of the oil now, and we're going to continue frying the rest of the batter until all of the batter is done. We finished frying all of the pholourie, so now it's time to work on the gravy mixture. So what we've done here is peel the tamarind and we're pouring on some hot water, and you're just going to let it soak and set it aside. Once you set that tamarind aside, it's time to work on the rest of the gravy mixture. So into my bowl here, I've added in that little bit of dal that we set aside in the beginning of the video, and we are just covering it with water and adding enough until it becomes very, very thin. So we're just stirring it up there to get all of that dal incorporated into the water. And of course, I'll have the exact amount of water that I use in the description box down below, so you don't have to worry about that. Once you've mixed the dal and the water together and set that aside, it's time to work on the curry mixture that we're going to start our gravy off with. So into my bowl that I have my ground garlic and hot pepper in, my grandmother's gone in with the curry powder and the masala, and you just want to mix that thoroughly. We've had a pan heating up on a high heat with a few tablespoons of vegetable oil at the bottom. She's now adding in that curry mixture into the oil. Now you want to make sure to hear that nice sizzle or that chunky when you add the spice mixture into your pot. Once you've added your curry mixture into the pot, you want to go ahead and stir it up and let it cook for about 4 to 5 minutes, or just until it dries up a bit and the oil starts to separate again from the spice mixture. You want to make sure that you look for these little indications, so this way you know that this curry mixture has been cooked out properly. After your curry mixture has cooked for about 4 to 5 minutes, it's time to go in with your dal mixture. Remember, that was the ground dal that was mixed with that water. And once you add it into your pot, you want to keep stirring and let it cook for about 2 to 3 minutes or just until this whole mixture comes up to a boil and thickens up a bit. Once you've added that dal and water into your curry mixture, you want to go ahead and add in a little bit of salt to taste. Now, I want you guys to be mindful because we did add salt into the pholourie mixture earlier. So it's better to add a little bit now and you can always taste later. My gravy mixture has been cooking here for exactly 5 minutes, and as you guys can see on the edges of the pan, it started to bubble up and the whole mixture has thickened beautifully. At this point, we're going in with all of the pholourie that we fried beforehand, and you just want to go ahead and give it a nice stir, and we're actually going to let this cook for about another 3 to 4 minutes on a medium-low heat, or just until the pholourie has a chance to soak up some of these liquids and all of these flavors can marry together. Once that happens, I'm going to show you guys what it looks like, and we're going to take it off the heat and finish this dish up. So my karhi has been boiling for about another 5 minutes, and my grandmother just wanted to show you guys the texture of the gravy. This is exactly how you want it. You don't want to boil it any longer because when you take this off the heat, it's actually going to thicken up a little more. So once you've turned off the stove on your karhi, it's time to add in that tamarind and water mixture. Now remember in the beginning of the video when we added the hot water onto the peeled tamarind, you want to let it cool a bit and then go in with your hands and mash up all of that pulp into the water. We discarded all of the seeds, and then all we were left with was the juice of the tamarind that was mixed in with that water. So once you turn off the stove, you add that in, and only when you turn off the stove, because if you added it in while this was cooking, what's going to happen is that dal can burst or start to separate on you. So the main part of this dish is done, but we have one final step, and that is to chunke the karhi. So into my little pan here, I've had some vegetable oil heating up on a high heat, and we're going in with some cumin seeds, also known as jeera, and basically what we're going to do is let these fry up until they're a very dark brown color, almost to the point where they're black. You do not want to burn them though. After about 2 minutes, my jeera seeds have taken on a beautiful dark brown color, almost to the point where they're about to turn black. So at this point, we're going to turn it off, and we're going to add this hot mixture into the karhi, and this is what we call chunking the karhi. So once you add this into the karhi mixture, you're going to give it a quick stir, give it a final taste for salt and any seasonings, and once you're happy with it, it is done, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed being in the kitchen with me and my grandmother today. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet, and comment down below and tell me what you guys would like me to make you next. See you again next time, guys.